Welcome to the whitest house. Slave souls haunt the halls when the light is out. Except the blood of the poor and the weak they mouth. The last gasp of a world that is dying out. Welcome to the whitest house, where every room is a tomb that they lie about. Where you can put your filthy feet on the finest couch, and for the right amount, you can even buy it out.
That's the essence of your entire political identity. You might be a white supremacist.
Welcome to This Week in White Supremacy. I am one of your hosts. You know what I noticed? That I'm the only one without glasses in the picture. I feel like I was left out of the glasses equation. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, Shonda's there.
No, I'm talking about in the photo, the main graphics. When everybody, I was just looking like
that just means like you're above the influence.
Is that what it is? Oh, right. I'm sober. Is that what it is? Everybody.
No, I was gonna say like you're okay being different, but that too.
Thank you, Miracle, for making me feel better. Welcome to This Week in White Supremacy. Oh, I'm sorry. Today is This Week in Black Excellence. We might have to do This Week in Black Excellence like all month. You know what I'm saying? It is Black History Month. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? Like, we started off right. So we got the twins together. What are y'all eating today? What are y'all grabbing on?
No, I already ate. Did you eat?
You ate without me.
Wow. Was it from a Black-owned establishment?
I don't know.
Then you failed. Okay.
But wait, our water.
The water
is black owned.
Oh, blah. What is it?
But it's not water? Black water. It's clear. It's clear.
Just water. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yes, this is
Solamente agua.
I like that.
What's Will Smith's baby boy's name?
Jaden.
Jaden. Yeah, this is Jaden's.
And it like goes to help people. Like, yeah, I like that. I like that. Just water. That's right. We supporting Black businesses all this month, and for the rest of the year too, not just this month. So did y'all want to say a few words, late twins?
It's good to have Black History Month come around.
Got you.
Miracle doesn't think we're allowed to celebrate.
Oh my God! I never said you industry was not black. Okay, that was your friend Joe Rogan. All right, that was not me. Man.
Well, you know what? I mean, maybe it's a benefit because you're probably not going to see me and Farouk on Metaslave.
No, but
yo, that could be taken the complete wrong way.
I don't know if anybody's gonna buy us. I don't know or maybe we're under the house nigga section. Maybe we would be under the house.
Yes, man.
That came off like at least we're not meta slaves.
No. When we saw Metaslave, we probably need to get. I don't know if you could find the graphic for Metaslave. It was on Twitter, John, the Metaslave .com. No, they only had like brown skin, dark skin people.
They only had field niggas.
Right. I didn't see any light skin people on Metaslave, which is, I guess they're taking NFTs and saying you can buy Black people via NFTs. It's crazy. We'll get into that.
The whole thing is just problematic.
We'll get into that later on because we want to start with Black excellence. But speaking of Black excellence, our very own Emmy Award winning Trouble in LS.
Never like supremacy. You know what time I'm on.
You already know what it is. So we do want to start with Black excellence because shout out to our brother, who former NFL coach Brian Flores, Brownsville, own, because he said February 1st, I'm choosing violence. He decided to kick Black History Month off with violence. And I wonder if he's had a conversation with Colin Kaepernick. I don't know. But for those that don't know who Brian Flores is, he was a NFL football coach who had a winning record. Despite the fact that he had a winning record in both seasons, I think maybe not his first season, but in his last two seasons, and despite the fact that he had won 8 straight games this past NFL season, he was fired. So when he was fired, people obviously were shocked. How could a coach this good be fired? What's going on? And so people immediately assume like, oh, he's going to get hired. You know what I'm saying? Like some team's going to hire him. I mean, he has a winning record. He was like one of the few Belichick disciples. He came from Bill Belichick that was good. That was like a good coach in the NFL. My man had a couple interviews. He was scheduled to interview for the New York Giants, and his mentor and former coach Bill Belichick texted him and said, "Congratulations, you got the job for the New York Giants." He responded, "I didn't even interview with them yet." And Bill Belichick said, "Oh, I meant to send that to the white guy." The white guy being Brian, I think it's DeBall, who was the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, now is the Giants coordinator. So Brian Flores decided to sue the NFL, including 3 teams. I think it's the Giants, the Denver Broncos, and the Miami Dolphins. And he said he got receipts that he was paid to lose games. He said because he didn't want to lose games and didn't want to do things illegally, that's why he was fired by the Miami owner. What do y'all think about? First of all, like the reason I think it's black excellence is because Brian Flores knows to file a lawsuit against the NFL means his career as a coach is over. Mm-hmm. We saw what happened to Colin Kaepernick. He sued the NFL despite him being great athletically, in good shape, could do all the throws. His career in the NFL, he was blackballed. So more than likely, Brian Flores is never going to coach in the NFL again. But despite that, knowing that, he decided, nah, man, it's Black History Month. In the spirit of Malcolm, Maya Angelou, Medgar Evers, and Fannie Lou Hamer, we're going to take this directly to the NFL's neck. So what do y'all think about Brian Flores taking on the NFL during Black History Month when the NFL is trying to do the Super Bowl is about to happen, all of this stuff? What do y'all think?
I love it personally. Like as a sports fan, as someone who loves violence, as someone who loves Black people and Black History Month, this checks all my boxes. But to think that, to be as naive as to say that Colin Kaepernick helped achieve some type of justice, or like he was granted justice from the NFL, is farthest from the truth. You know what I mean?
Who said that?
I mean, just people think that's what people are going to say. Oh, why are you
because
suing?
Colin Kaepernick like settled the lawsuit or something?
Yeah. Why are you suing when Cap already filed a lawsuit against the NFL? Like, but that's not what it's about. Like, we still have these studies rooted in racism and anti-blackness that say Black players don't experience CTE because they don't have high enough brain cognitive functions. We have all these things that the NFL employs. The lack of Black coaches, the lack of Black GMs, the silencing and from what we can only speculate, putting a gag order on Kaepernick and never bringing him back in for trials or anything like that. So, the racism is rampant. So for Brian Flores to step up, basically sacrifice everything at this point, because realistically, we didn't know if Cap was going to play again or not. Right. That was kind of the thing. With him filing that lawsuit, it was like a 50-50 chance. But with Brian Flores filing this lawsuit, he's seen the precedent in front of him and say, you know what, I'm still taking this route. So large up to that man. You know what I mean? Because it's people after him that's going to benefit. Like he's still pioneering something. So I love to see it, man. I love it.
Trouble, what do you think?
I do think it's dope that he's speaking out, that he sacrificed his career to basically expose like the racist practices that the NFL have been doing for a minute, you know what I'm saying? And I like that we're starting to see more performative organizations get called out for the work they're not doing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it was like in racism, but now you want to punish a Black coach and not give him any opportunities for hire because he doesn't want to play the game the way you want him to play it. You know what I'm saying? It's just weird, but I love to see it,
Right. And that was one of the things that, was the issue at the center of it, that he was saying that, he got fired. The Dolphins owner felt like because he didn't want to lose game, he was like hard to work with. And that's one of the reasons he got fired. Miracle, this is, just from a legal point of view, this is kind of like a brother going up against one of the most powerful institutions and on the planet, $1 billion institution. In the lawsuit, this is a something from the lawsuit. It says, in critical ways, the NFL is racially segregated and is managed much like a plantation. It's 32 owners, none of whom are Black. Profit substantially from the labor of NFL players, 70% of who are Black. The owners watch the games atop their stadiums in luxury boxes, while the majority Black workforce put their bodies on the line every Sunday, taking vicious hits and suffering debilitating injuries to their bodies and brains, while the NFL and its owners rep millions of dollars. The NFL has already denied this. Many of these teams have denied this. Just from a lawsuit perspective, does he have a shot? What do you think?
I think he has a shot because there are people in the comments talking about let me help you and give you information, because people have been ready, willing, and waiting to take the NFL down because, like Treble said, they've done so much performative stuff and they've harmed so many folks that people really are tired of the stunts. And so I think he has, a good case of discrimination. I think he has a really good, and he did it, first day of Black History Month, and he said he has receipts. And nothing more than a pissed off Black man who's been passed over for a mediocre person with half, good as a record, to have some receipts and be like, what you're not about to do is play with my time, disrespect me, and then call my former boss and let my former boss know you're going to pass me over for a job. I think Belichick was in on it, and he was like, you know what? I'm tired of y'all. Y'all let Brady leave when I wanted to keep him. This is payback.
Him being petty.
And this is him being petty.
Had a big plate of petty spaghetti.
They were having in their WhatsApp coach group. They let it know, and he was, I'm gonna let this chopper fly, and I'm gonna move on. That's what he said. Bill said, what now you're gonna do is play with my legacy. Wouldn't let me leave on top. So everybody's gonna get it.
No, I mean,
had y'all boycotted with Kaepernick,
we wouldn't be in this position.
But no, not be in this position.
You make a great point because another Black coach came to his defense, Hugh Jackson, who used to coach the Cleveland Browns, who basically said that he was also given extra money to lose. I think Hugh Jackson's record was 3-31.
I mean, but he didn't have to try hard. Let's just keep it tall. I mean, they should have paid him more to win. That probably would have looked a lot better.
He was saying that's cold-blooded. That's that Browns hate.
Oh, you mean show up? Oh, I get an extra $100,000 gas on it. Okay, I could do that. Well, hey guys, we're not doing any challenges this week. Sorry.
What Hugh said was that the Browns owner was interested in having a high draft pick, right? The Browns.
I mean, they've had high draft picks for the last 30 seasons,
right? And they got to it. They got I forget the brother who's a defensive end. They got him as a first round draft pick. What's the dude's name?
Honey Badger.
No, he looks like Michael B. Jordan, but just a bigger version of him. I forget his name. And the dude who body slammed the Steelers dude, the Steelers MAGA quarterback. I forget his name. And then they got Baker Mayfield, who was the first pick in the draft. So
I don't know why I'm brain farting right now.
According to Hugh, somebody in the chat.
Miles Garrett,
right.
Yeah,
so according to Hugh Jackson, the owner was interested in having a high draft pick. So they got
both. Sounds like Michael B. Jordan.
No, Miles. If you look at Miles Garrett, he looks like a bigger version of Michael B. Jordan. He does. Damn. Now you lost my train. So Hugh Jackson said he has receipts, right? Brian Flores says he has receipts. Hugh Jackson said he has receipts. Interesting. That Ron Rivera, who's another quote unquote minority coach in the NFL of Latinx descent, he basically said, "Hey, this is something we should look into." He didn't just outright dismiss it. He was like, hey, let's look into it. The NFL does have issues. Ironically, this came on the day that the former Washington Redskins, which was, of course, a outright obvious racial slur, announced their new name, which is now the Washington Commanders. So do we think, and I'll come to you, Miracle, is the NFL going to, because we've been wanting the NFL to take stuff seriously, they look like they obviously didn't take nothing Kaepernick said seriously until George Floyd, Breonna Taylor happened. And then they kind of had to scramble and let's throw some stuff on some helmets. But we still haven't seen a real structural change. Brian Flores, the NFL has the Rooney Rule, which says you have to interview a Black coach. Brian Flores felt like that was used to just give him sham interviews. He talked about going to Denver Broncos and the owner and the GM showing up like they didn't even really want to interview that dude. You know what I'm saying? He said they was disheveled. He said they wasn't interested in what he had to say. he felt like he was just called in just to check a box that said Rooney Rule. Will the NFL do anything substantial?
No, like not until people stop paying attention and showing up and supporting them. Let's be honest. We have this horrible halftime show coming up. And so a lot
Why
of
is it
people
horrible? It's Dr. Dre, it's Snoop, it's Mary J. Blige, and it's that white guy from Detroit.
and that is why my people will never be free. That is why, right there.
Because Mary J. Blige is at the halftime show.
Because y'all not going to boycott. You're not going to boycott.
Right.
You don't want to see no.
I haven't watched Kaepernick. I have not watched the game since Kaepernick said, "I'm taking the knee." Now, granted,
miracle.
We don't need no hateration.
Now, granted, I'm petty, and so
okay?
when I boycott things, I can boycott things.
Yeah, but also, miracle, your team's the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, come on.
First of all, and so what? And first of all, yes, the Atlanta Falcons are out there, but I also like players, and I also like looking at men playing and being sweaty. But still, I said for the greater good, I'm not going to watch this game, and so I haven't. But I think a lot of people really, until people demand more of the NFL, they're not. It's not going to manifest. And what we're seeing is like these coaches really don't want to win. So like these black coaches, like in Tampa Bay, even in Atlanta and other places who are winning, they still are not going to be able to get an interview because now we see these people don't even want to win. So until the fans get pissed off and riot in the street that they can't get a championship because the coaches and the owners are dirty, the NFL is not going to change.
Did Marvin Lewis want to win?
Because I will say, if it leaks that Tomlin was trying, I'm talking. But if it leaked that like Tomlin like threw and paid people to lose, the rules will be changed next week because the Steelers fans won't be having.
Oh
that.
no, that'd be
a black coach couldn't.
Yeah, but until people are like, oh my gosh, I'm paying money to be entertained, and my team is losing. Now, mind you, people are gambling. There's a whole industry around sports. Nothing will change.
So
that's a phenomenal point. That's
absolutely.
What I was going to ask is now, does the scrutiny around Mike Tomlin then, does that tighten? Does this microscope zoom in even further on him now?
I think it's the opposite. I think Tomlin might be able to mess around and just smack a white person. Like, you can't fire him. He's the only one left. Like, he's the last.
I want him to go to Atlanta so bad.
He leaves Pittsburgh, he gets hired anywhere.
I feel like if Tomlin went to Atlanta, he would have the time of his life.
He probably would.
I mean, he's Southern. He's from Virginia, right?
He's literally the last black coach. But I do have a question because I think you brought up a great point, Miracle, right? And this is where a lot. You when you look at the Super Bowl is going to be in LA. Who has a suite at SoFi Stadium? Jay-Z, right? And it was Rock Nation that kind of came in and helped put this halftime show together. And you're right. I mean, the halftime show is, a lot of my favorites, right? Dre, Snoop, Kendrick Lamar, Mary J. Blige. So I have a dual question. I want you to hop in on this trouble as well. Like, one, you know what I'm saying? Because Twitter's going to be going off about, Odell Beckham, he's like a favorite of the black communities, you know what I'm saying? Aaron Donald, he's from Pittsburgh, right? He's Pittsburgh's son, the best defensive player in the NFL. He's playing in the Super Bowl. So, like, how should we respond? Should we say, nah, we're not tuning in. We're not going to tweet about the Super Bowl. We're not going to talk about it, even though it is kind of centering, particularly with the half.
That was a leading question. I feel like this is a very leading question.
or do we go back? Can we or should we go back to Jay-Z and say, hey, or this is the last question because this is what I want you to answer too, Treble. Should Kendrick and these folks say we ain't doing it? Like what would happen if Dre, Snoop, Kendrick, Mary J. Blige, and them said we ain't doing a halftime show? Now that would be something. So
I would actually like that option because I know if I was in that position and the Super Bowl approaches me, I know that they pay really well, but it's like
they don't pay at all. They don't pay at all.
Oh,
no, they don't
right.
pay.
But what happens is you get that huge boost, right?
Yeah.
And these songs, it's like versus times 10, right?
Yeah.
The songs you play, people are gonna go stream it. No, normally your sales go up, so it's a big look, right? they don't ask
Yeah.
regular acts, right? They don't ask regular 1, 2, 3 hit wonders. You got to be on a whole nother level to perform at the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying?
Type shit. Yeah, I just know me as an artist, if they approach me on some shit, I'd use that as an opportunity to start the conversation. Well, what are you doing about these black coaches? Because until I'm seeing some kind of, equity amongst your hiring process, then I can't take part in this.
But what if it's Jay-Z? What if it's Jay-Z and he's like saying like, well, Trouble, we got this collaboration and we doing
that. I gotta show Jay-Z I'm a real nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, come on,
nigga,
bro.
I'm Homewood, and I gotta give me.
Yeah,
hold on. That's a great segue because John, I got my own black excellence that I wanted to highlight right now about being a real nigga, and Treble just brought that up. So John, this black excellence, I would just like to show some of my black excellence, John. If you could bring that up real quick.
Wait,
because I got some. Desiree looking wild confused. He's looking super concerned right now.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
John and Farouk out here scheming.
Nah, it's just it's just something,
This your stepson, Farouk?
That's my black excellence right there, man. That is my, you know what I mean? This is this is my real nigga black excellence.
Oh my god. So
I didn't expect this to be a joke. This is hilarious.
I definitely did not know. All right, I think that's enough, John. I think we've seen. But no, before we transition, because I want to come back to you and Miracle, right? Because if the halftime, like if these artists were to pull out, would that mean something? Or let's say they make some type of statement, right? Let's say they perform at the Super Bowl, but they say like, we stand with Flores, or they all put their fists up in the air. Does that mean anything to you, Miracle? Not his stepson, yes.
That it's just performative, and I would rather they not do anything if they're not going to make the owners change, if they're not going to negotiate with the NFL to make sure people are being hired. We keep getting scandal after scandal after scandal about these men who really should not be in the position that they are, failing to hire appropriately or failing to behave accordingly. So nothing is going to happen. I say if y'all want to watch a game or something, go watch your little local football league play, go just have a kickback. I'm sorry, it's the pandemic. You can't do that.
Can't do that. Don't want to be super spreaders.
I was about to like this thought.
Super spreader at the Super Bowl?
Y'all gonna do it anyway, so let's be honest.
People gonna have Super Bowl parties. I mean,
that's a fact.
And I want to point out again, because now I got love for my Cali people. This, shout out to Odell Beckham Sr., but this game is being played in Inglewood after they displaced a whole bunch of poor black and brown folks. True. So again, maybe the NFL is not the best place. True. Also, Atlanta keeps losing because they they bulldozed the church, and the spirits and the ancestors have not let Atlanta win ever since. So maybe like gentrification, the NFL should have a conversation and figure some things out.
Did the whole city of Atlanta shed a thug tear when Tom Brady retired? Did they shed a thug?
I mean, what he had nothing to do with us. We shed a thug tear when they refused to recruit Cam, because Cam Newton should have been playing for Atlanta because he was from Georgia. He should have been, but anti-blackness just reigns supreme. So we got Matty Ice, and he don't do.
Yeah. So speaking of, because we could get deep into sports, but speaking of,
but Frank said he's going because he never.
I never was.
He never gives up.
Oh,
so he would not leave.
You're not boycotting, brother. You're gonna put your goggles on and go represent.
No, if I'm in, bro.
So speaking of highly qualified black people,
you mean 4 of us?
I mean, and mediocre white men, there's been all of this pushback about the fact that Biden has came out and said that he wants to nominate a black woman.
Did you just call the president of the United States a mediocre white man?
Oh man, he might be less than that, brother.
You don't respect the office, do you?
Not Joe Byron.
Not Joe. You can at least respect the office, man. Like, come on.
Now, I'm gonna tell you this much: he ain't doing no mediocre job. He's doing a terrible job, a That dude got F's. He got F's on his report card. You know
He
what
didn't
I'm
get
saying?
big T's. He got F's.
You know what?
We gonna get into Big T in a minute, but
When they come here, I'm like, please leave. Please don't. Please do not. Please don't call us.
look, this is what. So right now, I mean, you had you had Mitch McConnell came out, and they all of these particularly these white Republicans are going in on the fact that Biden should not be solely looking for a black woman as the pick. You had one legal expert, I forget his name, said some lesser black woman's going to get the job.
The lesser black woman, like
right, some lesser black woman, and just like you
which
said,
is a wildly problematic statement.
Not only wildly problematic, but if a black woman is in a conversation to be Supreme Court, she is so wildly qualified. It's not even funny. Like for a black woman to make it to that level,
it's in the name. Supreme.
Not only wildly qualified, but probably went through so many traumatic racial experiences. Miracle, you yourself talked about some of this stuff that you went through at Pitt Law School. Wild, racist, crazy stuff. It's recorded, Miracle. You said him on the show, Miracle. So, what did Ted Cruz say? Ted Cruz said,
"It don't matter. That man is irrelevant." Okay, like first of all, the man is tired,
offensive, and so Mitch McConnell was asked, did he have any black women that worked in his office that's informing him of his decision? Which I thought was a great question. You want to put that video up, John?
And shout out to the media journalists actually asking the important questions.
Yes,
right.
Whoever that was, shout him out. Go ahead, bro.
How many black women do you have on staff, and how are they informing your decision to move forward with this Quotas nomination? And same question.
Is he blinking one at a time?
How many black women do you have on your staff, and
I like
how
that
are they
tie.
informing your decision on how to move forward with this Quotas nomination? And same question to the other senators. Sorry. How many?
I can't understand
you.
you.
On staff,
because I don't see African Americans as Americans.
Actually, I haven't checked. We don't have a racial quota in my office, but I've had a number of African American employees, both male and female, over the years.
They deliver his food, bro. He don't know them niggas.
Including speechwriter.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, he had one speechwriter. That's as high as they got. But I mean, the idea, like, if there's black people in your office, that. You know what I'm saying?
We don't have a racial quota because I don't like counting niggers. The moment you start counting, they start multiplying. That's why we don't have none.
Oh, you just had I just one more thing before I send it over to you. Another senator, John Kennedy of Louisiana, came out. He said, I want to nominate.
Every time you say a senator came out, I'm just expecting you to say I'm just expecting to have a shooter trial.
Came out as racist, brother. He said, number one, I want a nominee who knows a law book from a J. Crew catalog. Number two, I want a nominee who's not going to try to rewrite the Constitution every other Thursday to try and advance a woke agenda. These
what the fuck is a J. Crew catalog, bro?
A clothing catalog.
Who shot for J. Crew?
Apparently, Michelle Obama wore a lot of J. Crew, and so I guess that was some shot at. That was, I guess, the black women that they knew and hated. Although another super accomplished black woman that could, probably run them under the table in terms of intelligence and accreditation. So where do we go from here? Like, does Joe cave? Do we keep?
pushing? I hope Joe cave. So then, therefore, it could just be, never mind. What I will say is, if you watched my show, Ask a Black Lawyer, last Thursday, the amazing Barbara Griffin talked about how it was about to be hell for black women attorneys, and she is right. At the end of the day, these women, and you can look at She Will Rise, sisterscotus.com. These are accomplished, amazing women who have done so much in legal, jurisprudence, who have written, case law, who have been on, various panels and asserted in various capacities, even more than some of the current Supreme Court justices, right? But the idea that people forget and they understand here in Pittsburgh, it wasn't until 1973 that my alma mater even allowed a black woman to graduate in the 1970s. So when we're talking about the erasure of Black women on the judicial bench, we're literally talking about the fact that we are not included in a lot of these nominations. And even though we have the background, even though we have the experience, the qualifications, we did all the law reviews, we served on all the panels, we've argued all the cases, even argued cases in the Supreme Court. People think it's okay to bypass us. Yet when Trump said he was going to, pick someone to overturn Roe v. Wade, nobody cared. When Reagan said he was going to appoint a woman, nobody cared. All of these people pick their qualifications. It's okay to say you want a woman. It's okay to say you want this person. But when you put a Black woman together, the world loses its mind because they understand that Black women fight for everyone and Black women uplift everyone. And so that is the issue. And so we're seeing right now people show their ASS's, and it's very unfortunate because we go through, no matter what you believe about affirmative action, the affirmative action isn't there when I take the LSAT. The affirmative action isn't there when I take the bar exam. The affirmative action isn't there when I write the case or when I go in front of a court. Affirmative action doesn't even get me in the door. It just makes sure I'm in the driveway. And so I need people to really understand what they're saying and the dog whistle they send out. And on top of that, I also say with Senator Ted Cruz, it's not just Black women, it's women who are not white. Because if you go to his social media accounts, he refuses to call non-white judges the honorable or your honor or judge. He just calls them by their name because he discounts their experiences. Wow. And that's something that we're going through. And lastly, I will say, Black women voters who put Joe Biden in office put a demand out on the campaign trail that he nominate a Black woman. He didn't just say, you know what, there's no Black women in the Supreme Court, let me go nominate one. Right. No, it was a campaign promise he was forced to make, and now he's being forced to keep. Because Black women are like, nah, you give us what you promised us or we're going to raise hell. And so that's where we are.
Right. And he had to have a Black woman to even run with,
I thought that was interesting. You brought up Ronald Reagan in the wake of this because Ronald Reagan really became, from what I recall, and correct me if I'm wrong, began this assault publicly and politically on Black women with that welfare queen narrative. And that really helped push like a specific, imagery to Black women in American households. It was when Reagan ran with that caught on like wildfire. That carried over into the Bush administration, and that even carried over to Clinton when they cut those.
Clinton was one of the people that really advanced that.
He advanced poverty. Like
came as Sister Soldier. He really actually used that like Sister Soldier moment to kind of I guess let white people know that he wasn't. I play the saxophone, but I ain't really down with these Black people. You have any comment, Trouble, on the fact that like white men are losing their minds at just a possibility that a Black woman, mind you, like I think every Supreme Court justice except for maybe like 4 or 5 are white men. You know what I'm saying? Like any comment on that?
Yeah, I think it's super weird that every response that we've heard from these agitated white men on the topic of like Black women in Supreme Court seems to have like this rhetoric of like, why are we making it about race? And almost like they're frustrated to even talk about the fact that like it's been about race, and we're trying to talk about how the issue is because of race, you're not allowing certain people to have this opportunity.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why are we making it about race? We didn't make it about race. Why did you make it about? You know what I'm saying?
Because if it was qualifications, Flores would have a job and there would already be a Black woman on the Supreme Court. If this was just about qualifications, right? But obviously it ain't about qualifications. And to me, nothing stood out more than like when Barack Obama, his first presidency, this like Harvard trained constitutional lawyer was running against John McCain, who came in second to last in his class in the Naval Academy. Like literally, like you got to be like so much Black excellence to even make it around these mediocre white people, let alone get one of these jobs. And then if we make one slight tiny mistake, we're thrown to the side. So it was never about actual like ability to do the job or actual qualifications. It's always about busting up this good old boy network. They want to look and see somebody that looks like them, has the same ideology and philosophy as them. So if it ain't a white man, they get scared and they think somebody's coming to overthrow this. And we can only pray that somebody is coming to overthrow this because it ain't working for us. You know what I'm saying?
There's a fear like innately with white voters that they have of black elected officials. I remember it was a thing, it was a narrative around Obama that he was going to reinstate slavery.
Yeah, he was going to give reparations out. He was going to stand on the White House lawn and just start throwing. Remember Obama phone? He's giving them phones. He's giving them money. There's always that narrative, man. Well, it's wild because
if only he had did that.
Right.
If only. And this is a wild. If he did
loans, freed the weed, brought everybody home,
we'd be in a better financial and economic situation as a nation if he did that. It would have actually been good policy. But so we talked about Byron. You know what I'm saying? You know, your man Big T has been out there, you know, and this dude
Big T came out swinging.
You know, if we get picked, I swear to God, I better not see y'all up there being like, Big T.
Pick
Big
what?
T? Yeah, pick
to
for
do
what?
If we get picked for the convention,
hey, come on, look, Miracle, come on now.
Listen, they're gonna be like breaking news.
One hood,
Siri X and Farouk Al-Said on a one-on-one interview with Big T.
Just imagine people tuning into This Week in White Supremacy and we all have MAGA hats on, like we're all
bruv.
You gonna walk them through Homewood?
Yo, I'd have to set that one out, man. At that point, I'm questioning my workplace.
Hey, look, but, you know, one of the things he did, and
what if he did that little bop he did? Like he bop on stage, he did a little shoulder shimmy.
All right, but what he did do, I don't know if this relates to somebody said they boycott. I don't know. This is what he did. He's reaching back to his audience and his people. So Donald Trump came out, you know, he had another rally where the black people still got their 2020 shirts on. Trump, man, get these people 2024 shirts, please, for God's sakes. It's only a couple $100. But Donald Trump said that he was going to pardon the people who were arrested for January 6th. You want to play that clip for us, John?
Who used his rally this weekend in Conroe, Texas, to tease not only a president.
Here we go. You know, it's just going to be a long campaign trail.
You think so?
Yeah, because again,
with those new developments from former President Trump,
it shows
who
that
used
like
his rally this weekend,
nothing has
Texas,
changed.
to tease not only a presidential run,
look at him,
but presidential
people
pardons.
are still
this time
doing free promo for
all
him.
6 riders.
If I run and if I win, we will treat those people from January 6th fairly. We will treat them fairly. And if it requires pardons, we will give them pardons because they are being treated so unfairly.
You know what? I need Joe to say everyone who got PPP fraud, he gonna give him a pardon.
Yo,
right.
come
Free
on,
right.
Come on,
free the
come
guys.
It's wild though, like you said. And I think you had brought this up, either you, Farouk, or Miracle, about how like they just co-opt all the rhetoric of like our black liberation struggle, right? We're gonna pardon these dudes, we're gonna free these people, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the same rhetoric that you use that we've been saying, like, yo, these people are undeserving to be in jail, you know, whether they drug offenses, getting long periods of time, they need to be free, they need to be let go. They're using that same thing. You know, Trump even, you know, was talking about him possibly being arrested and really calling for violence if he happens to be arrested. Where do y'all sit with Trump, man? Like, you know,
what if he be in there next to El Chapo? Like,
I mean, that's where he is. Like, he really, yo,
you
Trump,
best believe if Trump gets arrested, these MAGA hat dudes are gonna break Trump out of jail. You best believe it. You best believe it.
You know, the U.S. loves to paint all of these foreign leaders and all of these other quote unquote tyrannical dictators in a light. It's like you have one right now. He was already in office. Like
he had voting machines ready. He had fake ballots ready.
Fuck all of that, bro. He had nuclear launch codes.
Yeah.
You get me? Yeah. Like big man thing. Like Trump, you know, we make a lot of jokes on this show, right? You know, we joke about Big T and everything, and it's funny, right? It's funny. I'm hilarious. But really and truly, like, you know, what is different? Because Trump didn't use nerve gas like Saddam Hussein did. Yeah. Like Trump didn't, ethnically cleanse anybody.
Right. I mean, you could argue that his inaction around, you know, COVID-19 cost, hundreds of thousands of people their life.
You took it right where I was about to go, bro. Like it says in the Quran, Tamar and oppression are worse than slaughter.
Right.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, Trump was so excellent at subjugating people. And that's why, we Jasiri and I, we make our jokes about Trump on here, right? But us as black people on these ends, bro, stop romanticizing this man's 4 years in office like niggas was really thriving. Where were you living to where you're championing this man, right? Where like his 4 years was this utopia in these so-called United States, so where black people were just out. What? Because he brought home Kodak and Ye dropped sneakers during that time, and Lil Wayne, like that's what I'm saying. Like, what? How did that benefit you?
Well, I think what it is, and I want to come to you, Treble and Miracle, is like kind of goes back to Byron, right? I mean, he's doing like if he just did the bare minimum. Like we can't even get the bare minimum. So then you start to say, well, damn, like if he's not going to give us the bare minimum, it opens a conversation of black people saying like, well, why don't we vote for him? He's not doing nothing for us. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if they're not going to, if him and Kamala's not going to do something for us, then what are our alternatives? You know what I'm saying? And like you said, like Miracle's been saying, here come Trump, like, yo, remember them stimulus checks? Remember them PPP loans, you know what I'm saying? Remember, I freed the guys on the first step. And, he's going to have more than likely black celebrities with him. You know what I'm saying? Who knows if Ice Cube going to pop back up? Who knows? You know what I'm saying? And so, he's raising a lot of money. I mean, it's looking wild right now. And it's looking like it could possibly be a return
of the Mac.
Y'all gotta stop giving this man. You know what?
Trouble,
wait till y'all file 990s and we find out a Trump campaign has been slowly paying y'all.
Oh my God!
No,
listen,
I think that
they're going to sponsor the show. Miracle, they're going to sponsor it.
Listen, if Trump comes out tomorrow, it's like I'm canceling student loans. He's winning by a landslide. Let's be honest. He's already winning a lot, and I'm going to point out, it's not that he's winning. It's that these Democrats are losing.
True.
And I think that's the big thing, is like you got put in office to do like 6 things, you haven't even done one. Right. And that is the problem. Again, I don't think he wants to be president. I think he just likes the attention.
100%. I agree.
And I think he just likes the attention. If y'all were like, if you would put him as, I don't know, what he could be, like the Secretary of Business, I forgot what it is.
Commerce, like, Secretary of Commerce.
If he would just be out here every day, I think he would take it. He just likes the attention. Yeah. Because people kept talking about how when he was president, they always had to stop him from doing stupid things. He doesn't know how to govern, but he likes the attention.
But also too, I think Miracle also too is like he still hasn't admitted that he lost, and so I think for this is like an ego thing, right? If he runs again and wins, he could say, "See, this was a legitimate election. The ballots weren't tampered with this time."
It's like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan said he ain't lose; he just won out of time.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he just recently came out and said if Pence had done what he was supposed to do, he would still be president. Right. Really putting a target on Pence's back. You know what I'm saying? For one of these wild Trumpians to do something to harm Pence, trouble like the pending, it's almost like this meteor hurling to the earth, right? Like the pending possible doom of Trump 2. What do you think, Trouble, man?
Yo, I'm starting to realize a parallel in like the things that we glorify. And when I say we, I mean particularly the black community that Trump is kind of leaning into, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like a lot of people are going to see the shit that Trump does as like real nigga shit. Yes. You know what I'm saying? But then when I think about their definition of real nigga shit, that just looks like real white supremacy to me. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we're entering an age where we have to start really questioning the things that we glorify and like thinking about the harm that those types of rhetoric have on not only the people, but like the political sphere.
Right. I mean, here's a great example, right? When you're talking about the future and what's happening, and we joked about it at the top of the show, right? You know, we had a situation where our group chat was popping yesterday because people found out some website, what was it called? Hit something?
Hit piece,
right? Had everybody's music as an NTF, right? Me, you, Brittany, you know what I'm saying? JM, Jordan, Live from the City. We all was up there. Did you have something on there, Saeed? Did they get you?
Yeah, they probably. Yeah, I mean, if it uses the same marketing thing, but yeah.
So all of our music was on there as an NFT. People was like, what do we do? And so, you know, they're talking about, you know, we're going to try to pay you or whatever. But then, you know, we found out that there are actually people who's tried to start a meta slave NFT, right? That they actually do. I don't know if you have that. Is that funny? If you have that graphic, John, where they were, you know, selling. Yeah, can you pull that up? Right. This is meta slave NFTs where they were selling NFTs of Black folks as quote unquote meta slaves. So if you can go into right. So here's George Floyd as bro, you think they wasn't going to have George Floyd up there? That's the meta slave. And so here are some.
Is that LeVar Burton? They got
literally any Black person. But again, like you said, y'all couldn't be up there because y'all, you know, are light pass. Don't hit me. You're the one who said it.
I didn't hit you.
You leaned on me.
No, I'm trying to see. I'm sorry. Listen.
Now you can't read because you can't see.
Well, I mean, I don't have my glasses on. No, I can't read that.
It says the Metaslave Project. Wait, bring that back up. I was about to. It says starting on January 25th, the Metaslave Project is a collection of NFTs that are designed to honor the abolition of slave.
I'm so tired.
They said, hey, listen,
I just don't understand. Like we need all this technology, and we keep going back to slavery. Yep. Like where is the innovation? Where is the Renaissance?
It's because
like,
that fetishization. They're like, you know what? I wish I never did, but I wish I did. Meta slave. I never did, but I wish I did. Meta slave.
I did this to myself.
I mean, right. I mean, you know, but like you said, it's funny, Miracle, because I remember the conversation. Remember, it was like, oh, this generation, you know, they have hip hop, they have Black, you know, Michael Jordan, whatever Black celebrity, they're not going to be as racist as the next generation. And one thing the internet proved is they are as racist, if not more racist. You know, that racists are coming out of the woodwork to even think about this. Oh, hey, we can own an NFT of a Black person. I mean, clearly this is white supremacy on steroids. And, you know, I mean, but I don't know.
That's white supremacy and 5G.
Have you ever watched Black Mirror?
Yes.
You know the episode where they take the guy's consciousness and put it in the
yes.
Freak. That's why I stopped watching Black Mirror. I was like, no, it's gonna be real life.
Really?
That freaks me.
All that shit. Yeah.
That was Get Out, right? That was the end of Get Out, right? They would take the consciousness of the white guy, put it into the Black dude. So he had the Black body, he had the Black face, he had the Black aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? But the white consciousness would be inside of that Black person. You know what I'm saying? That was Get Out.
It's creepy. But I will say, and to your point of the racism getting younger, you know, this week that whole HBCU bomb scare, they just talked about today. They think it was a bunch of teenagers who were calling in these bombs, and they're looking at it as a hate crime.
It always is teenagers.
But it's just the idea that like racism is not going away.
No,
and it's getting younger and younger. And if we don't allow for this dialogue and education about what's going on, I think it's going to get worse. And like slavery is just going to be not even the worst thing that the colonizers come up with.
I mean, you make a great point, Miracle, because it's actually getting worse, right? Because like these same white men that are so afraid of a Black woman possibly getting a Supreme Court are taking books out, they're banning books, banning conversations. Like the mere idea of a conversation. Now, if you're a teacher, you lose your job. I mean, like, so they don't. Not only do they not want to have the conversation, a conversation that really is necessary to move America beyond these racist white supremacist shackle that upholds her. They don't want nothing about this. They don't want any mention, like the mere mention of race, critical race theory, get that out of here. They're actually trying to legislate the conversation out of the public discourse and make it to where you can't go to a college campus or a high school. You know, it's Black History Month. We're being invited to different college campuses. They want to make it to where we can't even go on there and speak about any Black issues. They'll take the funding from the actual college.
Well, does that mean if you go to a HBCU, then you got a bomb education?
yeah. If you wasn't with Miracle, you would have been deleted off the show. We'd have kicked you. For those that don't know,
you kick us off.
At least 14. No, we're still going. At least 14 HBCUs had bomb threats starting yesterday. Right? They started Black History Month, and most of them had to cancel in-person classes and go to virtual classes because of these bomb threats. And so, but we saw Miracle, Black churches in the South get burned down. Like, we've seen real violence happen to Black people recently, right? We're not talking about the 60s. We're talking about recently. And so we have to take that seriously, especially when we just seen a bunch of white people run up on the Capitol and like nothing happened to them.
They're about to get pardoned. Like,
exactly.
They're about to get pardoned. That's what's about to happen. Like,
yo, get pardoned. Yeah,
I mean,
listen.
It's very historical. And I will say with white supremacists, they do study history and they're very on brand, because if you think about the civil rights movement, it was schools and churches and places of education that were firebombed, and it was educators that were lynched the most. And so one thing that these white supremacists do, they know history better than we know sometimes their own history. So they're just repeating like the cycle of violence. But I will say, I do feel for my brothers and sisters at HBCU, because because of COVID-19, their school just moved virtual. So it was like they didn't even get a day off. They were they're like, we have a system.
No snow days, nothing.
No snow days, no nothing. Like, hop on Zoom.
You know, this is, I mean, I guess I could ask this later, but I'm speaking right now. If you get elected president once, right, and then you get elected president again, can you get elected a third? I thought it was consecutive terms. It's not.
It is consecutive, so you would have to go away and come back, go like every other 4 years.
But you could run until you.
I think it's only 2 terms. You don't only do.
You can only serve 2.
FDR was the only person who did more than 2 terms, and there was this weird law, but also we were in war, so like they let him do it.
Hey, if Trump get back in, he ain't leaving.
I was about to say
he's also going to die because he's elderly.
I mean, that's kind of what like the Watchmen was about. It was like Nixon never came out of office because he put that law in. You know what I mean? Like I thought, like, you know, if this time Trump get in,
he's not leaving.
It'll be like a monarchy. Like he'll put
he'll pass it to him. Right. If he die, he's gonna try to pass it to Ivanka, right? He's gonna try to pass it to one of his crazy children. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what we're facing now. Well, we're, you know, it's mad stories that we could talk about, but I mean, let's just go to. Would you consider the Golden Corral a Black restaurant? Would you consider that?
I
hope
Ryan's
not.
better.
What is that?
Y'all don't have Ryan's?
I've never heard of that.
That's a buffet place called Ryan's.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I like Ryan's better than Golden Corral. Well, Golden Corral steak is good, but I haven't been there since COVID.
Is it good enough to punch somebody in the face over Miracle? Because apparently that's what happened. Our Karen of the week is a group of 40 people that had an all-out melee.
What's a group of Karens called? 911.
That is a great question. Right. What is it?
911. Is that what a group of Karens is called?
But I can't. One, I think, like I said, I mean, you know, Golden Corral is a horrible place. I mean, you know.
Oh, you know what a group of Karens is called?
Oh God.
Whole Foods.
Oh no.
Well, apparently, maybe Golden Corral. I don't know, man. You know
Golden Corral.
Because apparently, people. Well, and then just like you said, to me, Golden Corral is bad. But Golden Corral in a pandemic?
Yeah, I don't know why you're going to a buffet during COVID. Like
COVID?
Steak though.
It can't be that good,
Miracle. Come on.
Well, I have not been since the pandemic.
Hey, Peru.
I'm sure it wasn't good then.
Hey, apparently, it was so good that it caused these people to fight in Golden Corral. Can you bring that up, John? This is how good the steak is in Golden Corral. This is how good it is.
Oh shit! Look at that white man.
Oh shit! Oh, somebody hit the ground. There goes the chairs. They got those are baby chairs. Baby chairs.
This is a very multicultural crowd.
I'm about to say, yeah, this is a little bit of everybody. It's like the Source Awards.
Tell you, everybody be up in the golden.
Hey.
Oh shit! Whoa! He's
They got the
experienced in
tables
throwing
up.
chairs, man.
It's like a cartoon.
Why didn't anybody run behind the counter and get the food though? Shouldn't that
They
be
don't
what
want that
happened?
shit. That's why they don't want that shit.
They try to.
Oh,
Just gather around. Oh, they gathering all right.
He has good Sunday food.
nah, man. Right, and that would be wild.
That
If
was
was a
wild.
Sunday, like if you left church to go fight at the Golden Corral, yo,
You gotta go
Jesus-
back to church.
You got to go back. Yeah, Jesus is not looking happily down on that. You know what I'm saying?
He
No.
said Jesus flipped tables in the temple. I'm flipping tables.
But they did
They
say,
put scripture in. They put the scripture in action.
but you know what? At the very end, you know how you too tired to fight, but you just don't want nobody to mess with you.
Oh my
Because the
God.
way he was throwing that chair was
Man.
He was. Lord have mercy.
Like that, yo.
So what were they fighting for?
Yeah, so what-
exactly?
So
Allegedly,
apparently, right? Allegedly, the steak came out. You know, like when I guess
So
when the
good.
food,
Someone
when the
needed
good
to throw
food
it,
comes
yeah.
out of Golden Corral, everybody run up to it, and somebody, whoever was in
I
front,
didn't know
was
that.
taking too long picking out the steak. They were going through the different steaks. They're trying to see which
They got
one
more
had-
than one steak at Golden Corral.
Yeah, it's the whole.
Yeah.
you
It's
cut
a
it
buffet,
like-
bro. So
I mean,
They
like
were
they have
taking
like a
too long.
sirloin and like a
No,
strip
it's like,
and like
one, but some parts are crunchier than others. Some part may have like more fat. So the person was taking their
Yeah.
time.
they were
And I
taking
would have
their
done the
time.
same thing. I've done the same thing before. You take too long, I just come around, grab what I want, and leave.
Yeah, well, apparently somebody said something. That person said something back, and thankfully nobody had any weapons. Thankfully nobody had no guns, because that would have been a shootout at the Golden Corral.
I'm gonna pick low hanging fruit right now. They really had beef.
Is it the goggles, bro? You just on one today.
Just all the jokes.
They
Or bomb
really had beef,
education.
man.
You with the puns today, or bomb education, and they had beef. Lord have mercy. All
I'm
right,
on
so-
fire today, bro. I'm on fire.
Oh, so let me go ahead and get our white pages. Mainly at the Golden Corral. That's hilarious. So our white pages today is a dope book. Shauna Redmond. She's a dope academic professor out of University of Southern California. Her book is called Anthem: Social Movements and the Sound of Solidarity and the African Diaspora. That's about music.
The
and
African
art.
what?
Diaspora, brother.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Everyone pronounces it.
Oh, brother,
different.
sometimes, I can't read either. I didn't want to say it on the show, but sometimes, brother, I have trouble.
I didn't
Are you
hear
just
you.
gonna bully him on his own show?
We all equal parts.
Yeah, it's not my show. But shout out to Shauna Redmond. So this is the book Anthem. Talks about the intersection between music, what we do, and liberation. Perfect for One Hood supporters. And our call to action, Miracle, what's our call to action this week?
Yeah, just send it over to John in the text message. But as you all,
I know that was an ugly yawn. I'm sorry.
that's okay.
I didn't sleep well last night.
We need to know that. All right, go ahead.
Serious. As we all know that a few weeks ago, Peter Spencer, who was from East Liberty, was found murdered in Venango, Pennsylvania, a place that has been known for actual white supremacist violence and Klan people. And so there is a petition going around for the Hunters of Color, which is an organization that seeks to encourage Black people, but people of color, people of the global majority, to get involved in outside activities. They've put together this petition to demand a fair and transparent investigation into the murder of Peter Spencer. Our call to action this week is for people to sign. They're trying to get 20,000 signatures, and
There are 19,000 already. So
and I guess we're plugging next week. They'll be with us next week for This Week in White Supremacy, just to talk about the white supremacist violence that occurs against like Black people when they're trying to go hiking and hunting,
Right.
and fishing and things of that nature. So we're gonna post the link in the chat, and we're gonna ask people to make sure they go and sign it. That's
Absolutely.
our first call to action.
Absolutely. So support that. Shout out to the Hunters of Color, and then it was like Outdoor Venture, I think was the other organization. Shout out to them for putting that on change.org. And yeah, we'll drop that in the chat and ask folks to sign it. Anything else that we have coming up? Power Hour, what are y'all doing?
Yes.
I guess I'm gonna go back and watch the last Power Hour if you like beef.
Yo, the last
we're not speaking of that. We're not that. Anyhow, what I will say is we got a great show for coming up next week. So let me go run some stuff down for y'all.
Do that shit.
Sunday we got Latasha Mays, who's running over in the East Liberty area. Monday we're talking about the upcoming election. Tuesday we know y'all are stressed out, so guess what? We have a whole show about mental health.
Oh shit!
And what you can do to support your mental health and what Black Pittsburgh know to do.
Say that.
Wednesdays we back here, with our special guests. The second time we have guests talking about what's going on with white supremacy. And Thursday, unfortunately, we won't be live, but we'll have an in-person event about, for Ask a Black Doctor to learn about COVID-19 and how it impacts people. And then we back again next week. So, we busy. But I will say, it is Black History Month.
Yes, it is.
Stop calling Black people to do work for free.
Come on. Come on. Say that again. Say it again.
And at the last minute, it's a little violent. That's a little much.
Yes.
And let's even if you don't have a coin, you can at least do a thank you, a volunteer, a shout out, or something.
But you got a coin. I mean, come on, man. You got a coin. You can cash out a Black person. Come on now, stop that.
I mean, bring us food or something. I said, oh my God,
something. Yeah, absolutely. So absolutely. So yeah, okay. So the petition just dropped in the chat. Sign that petition. Outdoor people, Hunters of Color, in support of Peter Spencer and his family. So I think that's it. Any last words?
Never lose sight.
Be careful this weekend. It's a blizzard. Allegedly.
Yeah.
This may be my last show.
Get your food now. Go to the store now. It's about to get busy. And also we want to say, I don't know if we said on the show, her funeral is tomorrow. Rest in power, Alma Speed Fox, a legendary civil rights figure in Pittsburgh. Her funeral is tomorrow. May she rest in power as well. Shout out to her. So see y'all next week. This week in White Supremacy, y'all.
To the whitest house. Slave souls haunt the halls when the light is out. They suck the blood of the poor and to wipe their mouth. The last gasp of a world that is dying out. Welcome to the whitest house, where every room is a tomb that they lie about. Where you can put your filthy feet on the finest couch, and for the right amount, you can even